Let's talk about using the Birchbark House for discussion in your homeschool. Hi, I'm Mary Wilson, homeschooling mom of 4 kids and online book club teacher. And this month we talked about the Birchbark House. This is an incredible look at life in a Native American tribe in the 1800s. It is a detailed look at daily life through the course of a year. So the book is divided into 4 parts, and you go through each season with this tribe, mainly with the main character, a little girl of 7 years old, and the things that happened to her family. All right, I do want to give a warning though. If you were to read this one with your kids, there is a lot of sadness in this book. In the winter season, smallpox does hit the village, and there are deaths of 2 characters. One is the beloved baby, and at one other point in the story, one of the dogs is killed pretty brutally by his owner. It's quick, but it happens, and it can also be upsetting. So just know that these things happen in the story. The death of the baby and the other character was a big part of our discussion in book club. So that's the first topic I would suggest is, after reading this, I told the students, this is a book written for kids. It's been nominated for awards, yet there's this really difficult sadness in it. Why do you think it was included, and should it have been? In general, the students all agreed it should have been included, and they talked about how that's real life. It's true to the historical time period, and it's true to their own lives that bad things happen and that characters need to face problems in a story. And we kind of talked about that. So again, though, it is an opinion. So there may be, your own children may think, no, they didn't need to do it that way. And they may feel differently. And that's fine. We're just kind of getting them to think about choices that an author makes and the way the book is written. All right, another great question when you're reading any historical fiction with kids, this happened to be the one we were reading this time, is to talk about the ways the author has immersed you into the historical time period in the book, thinking about the setting, the daily life of the characters, the problems they face. All of these things should be accurate to the time period. So you can ask them, what are some of the things that we learn about this time period and this tribe by reading this book? On a side note, in one of my book clubs, it was interesting. Someone brought up the fact that a crow becomes a character in the book, and a very good friend, he's right here on the cover, to our main character. And that felt a little fantastical to this particular student, not historically accurate. So we talked about that. What about the life of the Native American tribe made that feel like a possibility? Do you think it could have been? And we just kind of talked through it. So that's what you're doing. You're looking at the historical setting and how does the author make us feel like we are truly living alongside this Native American tribe? What kinds of things do we learn about them because we're immersed in this historical setting? So it was interesting to also, I didn't even think to ask, are there things that feel inaccurate? And in this case, there was something for someone. All right. And then a final question to discuss in this book is Pinch's relationship with 𝐂𝐭 𝐖𝐢𝐭, our main character. So this is the little brother and the sister, and they have an interesting relationship. We talked a lot about Pinch. What is he like in the beginning of the book? What are the two of them like together? How do they feel about each other? And then, most importantly, how does that change? How has their relationship changed at the end, and why? I think there are two incidences that come up that really help show their maturity and their changing in their relationship. And that is a time that Pinch gets burned and his sister has kind of stepped into the role of a healer and takes care of him. And then in the end, there's a moment when the crow comes back and he lands on Pinch's head instead of 𝐂𝐭 𝐖𝐢𝐭. And instead of kind of teasing her and doing something he may have done at the beginning, he actually comes over to her so that the crow, who she considers hers, can jump over to her. And it's kind of a moment that shows that their relationship is heading in a more positive direction. So we also talked about that. Oh, I'll give you a bonus. One of the other topics that came up in one of my book clubs, and then I took it into a few of them, was the title. How students felt about the title. Was it a good pick, or would they have picked something else? Some wanted a more exciting title. They even suggested some fun things. Others thought this was a great title, and they saw the connection to the beginning of the story, and then the need to make another Birchbark House is mentioned again at the end. And they kind of saw that circular connection with the title. So always kind of a fun one to ask about the title of a story. Oh, and so many other things, but that will get you started in a great discussion with your own children. Have fun and happy reading.